Hello everyone, today we will model a free jet with a high Mach number of around 0.6. Let's start with the geometry. Use the point creation tool to generate the points with the coordinates showcased in the table on screen. An important thing to note is that this model will be a quarter of the full scale, since the full model is unnecessary. Now that all the points are created, we can start making the arcs using the arc tool in geometry creation. To use the arc tool, follow the hint in the bottom left of the screen. Click the center of your arc and then the two radii points. Next, we can use the line tool to connect the remaining bits. After using the line tool, we can use the create surface tool and select each line to create a surface for both arcs. Now we will use the pull function. We can do so by pressing the pull function in the Boolean operations, the little rectangle with the arrow, and selecting the smaller arc surface. The yellow arrow indicates the direction where the pull will be. And then we can select the distance, which for our case will be 5 meters, to connect to the rear arc. After doing so, we select the large arc as well, and type in negative 15 meters, since the arrow is pointing to the left, and we would like it to go to the right. Since we now have two bodies, and the program only supports one, let's use Boolean operation add, and click the small arc, and then add it to the big arc. Then it becomes one body. Next, we can hide every single point apart from the body to make naming easier. Now right-click on the leftmost surface and call it inlet. Next, use multi-select by holding Ctrl and right-clicking on the following three surfaces and call them free stream. Now call this curve wall, and then for the remaining two faces, use multi-select and call them symmetry. Now let's just quickly check that we have all the proper naming, and yes we do, and we can also see that free stream is now co-flow with our axis. Now we can press to mesh. Once in mesh, just simply change the refinement to 2 and generate. After a quick skim of the mesh, it looks okay. Now we can go to setup. For the setup screen, we'll mostly leave it unchanged, except the mode we will change to k-epsilon since it is a free shear flow. And then for the flow type, we will change to compressible, which will automatically change the heat model to on. Now we can work on the boundaries. So let's begin with the inlet. Let's set the x velocity to 300 meters per second, and let's change the length scale to 0.5. Let's also set the temperature to 700 Kelvin. This is just a short message explaining how the flow is compressible, so you may want to change that. However, we've already done that. Now let's do the outlet. Set the outlet type to open instead of pressure. Set the x velocity to 10 meters per second. Set the length scale to 5 meters and the intensity to 1%. For the wall, just leave everything as default and click apply. Likewise, for symmetry, just leave everything as default and press apply. Now press to solution. Now in the solution tab, let's make a monitoring point 10 meters in the x direction, and then change the variable to be velocity, and then press run. Now that the graph has converged and stabilized, we can go to the result. Now let's see this velocity profile for symmetry. We can also hide the body to see the flow better. Next, we can check the temperature. Now let's make a line. The first point will be at 10 meters in the x direction, and the second point will be at 10 meters in the x direction and 5 meters in the y direction. Now we can check the velocity graph, as you can see here. And then we can check the temperature graph. Now if you'd like, you can generate a report as always. That will be all for the high Mach number free jet tutorial. Thank you for watching and happy simulating.